Hey, how's it going? Hope you're having an amazing day. First, I want to start by thanking you for the support. And hopefully today with this video, I'm going to be able to bring some value to your website, to your clients, or for yourself. This process can be used for different things and is to show you how, let's say you want to filter out specific things using tags and also using a drop down. I did a video before and I'm gonna keep uploading more videos on how to use this method. But if you have more questions, you need help, just comment on the video, and I'm gonna also be sending this page to anybody that wants it. So if you are still having trouble getting it done, just send me a message and I will give you a link where I can actually transfer you a copy of this page. That way you can see it exactly how it was done, and hopefully it helps you to make your website better and faster. So let's start. The first thing you want to do is decide if you're gonna use Wix Classic Editor or Editor X. To be honest, both of them are really good. I love Editor X, but there's some apps that are still not available there, so hopefully in the future they can do it. So for now, we're just gonna select the basic classic one. If you already have a website and you just need to add this option to it, then it's gonna be very easy. But since we're just doing this as an example, we're just gonna go from scratch. That way you don't get confused. There's nothing there, because there's sometimes things that be in the page that might be confusing and you're like, how did you get to there? So we're gonna start completely from a blank page. So once we're here, just gonna go to edit, and this is gonna be good for people that want to do like restaurant menus, type of dishes. You can use it for if you're doing some type of educational material, classes. So whatever you can imagine, you can use this method for. And again, you can, you're welcome to change or add or do anything to it. There is going to be a little bit of code. Now, you don't need to have any experience, I promise you. If it's difficult, just let me know, I'll help you, but it's not going to be difficult at all. It's literally going to be just copy paste, removing some things, and I'm going to try to be as clear as possible. If it's confusing, just comment and I'll try to respond or help you. And again, I'm going to be actually transferring you this page if you want it. That way you can see exactly how it was done. So one thing is, I'm not going to give credits on the video about what I'm doing today, because there's so many people that have done it, so I don't even know who originally did it. But the thing I'm going to show you today is two options. One is doing a drop down, and then another one is going to be using tags. So the first thing you want to do is we're going to turn on, the developer mode. Okay, so we're gonna go here. You want to turn this on, and the reason why you want to be able to do this is because it's gonna give you some extra tools in this section right here, like this one, the input. So when you have it off, you might not see this option right here, and this is something that you're gonna use today. Once you turn it on, you can go back and just minimize here, and don't be scared about that thing. It looks like all like weird and crazy. Don't worry about it. We're just gonna minimize it, and we're just gonna move this to the side, and that's it. Once everything is done, you can always go back and turn it off, and it won't affect anything. But in the beginning, you do need to do it to be able to see this option right here. So the first one I'm gonna show you is using tags. So once you're in this section right here, we're gonna go and find the tags option, and it's right here. So you're just gonna add it in this section. Now, the reason why I'm gonna show you two options is because on the desktop version, this option looks good, but when you go on the mobile version, sometimes this thing doesn't adjust correctly. So sometimes I prefer to have a drop down, because it makes it, one, it's less space, And two is if you have so many tags, these start getting a little messy on the mobile versions. So that's the main reason why I'm gonna show you two options, but it's totally up to you which one you prefer. So we're gonna start again with the tags, and then we're gonna add a gallery. So we're gonna go here, and then we're gonna add this one. Once you add it right here, again, this is not going to be about design, so just make sure everything is working properly. We're going to delete some of this because we don't need it, so it's literally just as a placeholder right now. So even if you leave like 4 pictures or 5 pictures, it doesn't matter. These pictures here don't matter, so just close it. It's just for us to have enough space so it looks nice and neat. Now let's say you adjust everything, you like where it's at, everything. Let's say your design is good and working. So now the second thing you're gonna do is we're gonna create a database. So once you have this, you're gonna go to this section right here which says Content Manager, and in this option you're gonna create a new collection. Once you're here, there's gonna be this little window right here. You're gonna start creating. And then here you're gonna name it, depends on what you're gonna do it. If it's for products, if it's for a restaurant, if it's for, let's say, food for pets, whatever it is. In this case, because we're gonna do an example as for a restaurant, so we're just gonna do restaurant. And then once you put the name here, it will automatically create this one. Then see where it says site content, you're gonna click on it, you're gonna scroll down to custom use, and then you're gonna set custom permissions. Now this is very important because if you don't set the right permission, you might have some errors and some trouble. So it's very easy. So when it says who can read the content from this collection, so that means like who can see the content in here, right? If you were creating something for members or people that have like some type of login account, then you're gonna set it to either just the admin, just the site member, or whoever the person that created the content. In this case, we're gonna leave it as anyone because this is gonna be open to the public. Nobody has to log in or create an account to be able to see this information. Second, it says who can create content. In this case, you can put admin. That way you're the only one, or whoever that created the page is the only one that is able to do it. If you put site member, this is, let's say, and I'm gonna make another video about how you can create a form where people can add, let's say, dishes, they can add names, they can add whatever the thing you're creating. They want to upload their own content. That's when you're gonna start using the other options. For now, you can just keep it as anyone, and the second one you can keep it as well as anyone, because it says who can update content, who can come and change anything on this chart that we're gonna create. So you can put admin, it's up to you. But again, this doesn't matter because nobody's gonna be touching this other than the site owner or the admin or the developer, whoever is creating the site. Then last is who can delete the content. Same thing, just put either admin, that way nobody can just delete the content, and then we can just leave it like that and set and create collection. So once that is done, you're gonna get this option right here. And one of the things you're gonna notice is you by default have this title option. You cannot delete it and you can't change it. So the only thing you can do is just when you're gonna add any content, you can set it as like name, or you can set it as something that's related to text, or you can add images to it. But the first thing we're gonna do is go to properties, and here we're gonna name title. If you want to name it as a title, you can also put name. You can name it anything. This won't change. You won't be able to change it at all. And then here is where you're gonna be able to select what is it gonna be. But again, it's not gonna let you do any changes, so we're just gonna leave it as a text. Here we can also leave it as a title, and then you're gonna click save. And then this section, we're gonna name it image. So that way it's gonna be the picture. Once you select image, in this section right here, you gotta make sure it's an image. That way you're gonna be able to place a picture in there, and then just click save. And then right here, we're gonna name it. Let's say if it's a location, because we're talking about food and restaurants and dishes. Let's say you're talking about tacos, right? Not just because I'm Mexican, right? But let's say you want to talk about the tacos that are from Mexico. So we can put location here. And then here is going to be text, because again, it's just going to be text in there. And then click save. And then the next one is going to be, we're going to name it type of food. And we're just going to click save. Again, because it's just text, what we're going to have in there, we're just going to leave it as a text and then save. So now you have title, image, location, type of food. But if this is confusing for you, you can actually name it food name, for example, food or dish. Let's name it dish. That way it's not confusing. But again, this is not gonna change. Just keep that in mind. So this is gonna be dish. So we're gonna click save. So here we're gonna start with pizza. And then the image, we're gonna go click here and we're gonna add a pizza. Let's go here. Actually, let's close this. I'm gonna type pizza. If you already have pictures, just upload your own pictures or go to the site files. You're gonna be able to see them there. But if not, just find them on Wix or in this section right here. So again, I'm just gonna go pizza. We're gonna select this dish right here. Oh, this one looks good. And then add the item. And then the location, let's say this pizza is in New York and this is a type of Italian food. And then we're gonna add the next one, which is gonna be tamales. And this is gonna be an image of a tamales. And we're gonna add that picture right there. And then the location is gonna be in San Francisco. And then the type of food is Salvadorian, which I think, I don't know, that we always fight between if it's Mexican or Salvadorian or who knows, but it's delicious. And then we're gonna do tortas. And then this is gonna be a picture of a torta. Again, this can be used for anything you want. It can be used for your, you know, I don't know, a class. I had in my other sample, it was a drop down for a mechanic class. So they have like different engines, they have different things. So again, you can use this method for anything. So it doesn't have to do a restaurant. So this is you'll see why it's gonna save you a lot of pages and time. So we're gonna add this one. Let's say this is in Los Angeles. And tortas are Mexican. And then we're gonna add last one. We're gonna add tacos. And add a picture. And we're gonna add that picture right there. We're gonna add this, and let's say it's in San Diego. And then we're gonna add that this is a Mexican dish. Okay, so now you have again your dish, image, location, and type of food, and then each of them have their own information. So now once this is done, you can just close this. You don't have to save or anything. Then you can close this option. One thing that I always recommend is you can always do publish, because it's a new database, so sometimes it won't show if you're creating something. So we're not done yet. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add the code. So you want to open this section right here, and you notice you have all this thing right here. This is not needed, so all you can do is just select and delete it, and now it's all clear. Now every time you add a new page, you can add code in each page that you create. Now also you can add, if you're working on the same page, you can add code at the bottom and you can create multiple things. So you're not limited to only one type of code just for one page. You can add multiples. Again, this is nothing complicated, so we're not gonna go into that conversation right now. So let's add the code. And this one, you're gonna have access to the page I'm gonna send you, and I'm gonna put a link to it. And all you gotta do is just paste the code there. And you notice right where there's a lot of arrows right here, these little red dots. Don't worry about that. We're just gonna minimize this. And then this is the first thing that we're gonna work on it. So we have our code, it's right there. Then we have our gallery, okay? And then we have the tags. So we have pretty much almost everything we need. Now we're gonna start setting up everything. But before we do that, we're also gonna add what's called a data set. So you're gonna go here where it says Content Manager, and there's your data set. Now, if you have multiple collections, this is what we call a data set. If you have multiple data sets, you're gonna see a list right here. But in this case, because we only have one, we're gonna select that one, right? And this is what you're gonna be able to see the content that we added earlier. So you have everything, in this case, your dishes, your locations, and the type of food. So we're gonna close that. We're gonna go here where it says add content elements. And then you have two options right here. In this case, because this is something that you're gonna display to people that visit the website, is gonna be just a regular data set. If we were uploading or creating a form where people can add their own pictures, their own information, then we'll use a form data set. So in this case, this is the first one that you're gonna pick. And then you're just gonna drag it to the side. This is not gonna be visible to anybody, only to the editor page. So don't worry about it. And then the first thing we're gonna do is click settings, and we're gonna connect the restaurant because that's the data set that we have. So we're just gonna select that, and everything else just stays. So right here, it says mode read only, which means again, just gonna display the information for people that visit the site. Doesn't have to do with anything. And then how many you want to display. Let's say in your collection you have over 100 pictures, but you don't want to show all 100, right? So you can select how many images you want to be able to display on this collection. So we're just gonna leave it at 12. That doesn't matter. And then we're just gonna close it. Once that's done, the second thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go on the tags, and we're gonna click where it says manage choices. And we're gonna delete everything here because we don't need this right now. We're gonna pretty much change everything. So the last one, we're gonna leave it there. We're gonna go to the content manager. Okay, we're gonna go here, and you're gonna see the names of the dishes, right? The type of food, actually. The type of food is you have Mexican, Salvadorian, and Italian. Let's say you have Persian or you have Indian, whatever the type of food it is, this is what we're gonna be set on. Now, you can also do location if you prefer. You can also do dish if you prefer. In this case, we're gonna select food. So you can do anything you want. You can filter by location, you can filter by food, it's up to you. But in this case, we wanna filter by type of food. So we're gonna close this option right here. And then once we're right here, we're gonna click manage choices. And then you're gonna see there's two options. One that says edit label and edit value. These are very important. So we're gonna start with the label, and then we're gonna add, we have Mexican. And then we're gonna click again, and then you're gonna click edit value, and we're gonna type Mexican. Okay, now there's other option right here for the tags. I don't want to confuse you, but this happens a lot. When you're right here, if you select one of other options right here, this is the one that we pick. Some of them don't have two options. They don't have value and label. they only have all just value, or they only have label. So just be aware of that. But if it has both, you have to change it for both of them because it's important. But if it only has one, don't worry, you can just change that one. But just check that out because I know it can be confusing. That happened to me before. I was trying to understand something and it was just confusing. So just make sure you change both if there's two, but if it's only value, just change the value. Okay, then we're gonna add the next one. This one is gonna be a label. It was Salvadorian, and then we're gonna make sure we also edit the value, and we're gonna type Salvadorian. And again, if this was location, then this one will be San Diego, San Francisco, and so on. But because we're doing type of food, we're gonna do Italian, and then we're gonna edit also the value, Italian, okay? And then done. So now you're good. You have your 3 different types of food. We're gonna close this, so that's all set. Then the next step that you're gonna do is you're gonna move to the gallery, okay? And here, this is where we're gonna connect the data. So we're gonna click on this little snake thing right here, and you're gonna select the data set, okay? So here, you're gonna select restaurant. Now, a lot of the times, if you forget this step of adding the data set, you're not gonna be able to see anything here. So make sure you have add this. And you can rewatch the video again to make sure if something is not working, probably you missed one step. Okay, so we're gonna add restaurant. And then if you remember, we have the name, the location, the image, and the type of dish. So here, the image is gonna be connected to the image. Then the title connects to the dish, right? So that's the dish. And then the description is gonna be type of food, okay? And then that's it. You have tacos, Mexican. In this case, because we're doing location, actually, sorry. Perfect, okay. Because we're doing the dish here, this one is gonna be the location because we wanna know where it is. So again, you can play around with this. If you were doing location in here instead of the type of food, then on this section right here, you will be doing type of food. Okay, so that's how you can always change it around. So if you see here, if I click type of food, it will change. But because we already have the food here, we don't want to connect that. So we want to type the location. So that's why it says tamales. Now it says, you can see it updates to San Diego, Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York. So you have that. Now we're gonna do the last step, which is the easiest part. And that's the part that, again, coding can seem scary, but it's not. You'll see right now, it's very easy to do. So we're gonna open this. And you notice you have this arrow right here. So it says selection tags ID, right? So this is the tag. So we're gonna click on it, and now you see there's a name. It says selection tags 1. So you're gonna click on it once, and then you're gonna do Control-C on your computer, or if you have an Apple or Mac, I'm not sure how you do copy paste, but you're just gonna copy that, and then you're gonna go here and select just this option right here and paste it. So now this has to match what's in here. And then the second one, we're gonna select it and we're gonna also paste it here. And there it is. Now you notice the 2 little red dots here are gone. And then if we click here, selection tags 1, selection tags 1, and this one too. The second thing is gonna be the field key. So how do we know what field key is this? We're gonna go back to the content manager. We're gonna click here on restaurant because that's our data set. And then we're gonna go find the key field. So we're gonna click on this one, properties, and this is the field key right here. So it's type of food. Now, if you notice the way it's written, it automatically did it for you. So all you gotta do is just copy or Control C on your computer, save, right? And then close this. And then here, we're gonna replace this section right here. And then just Control V, and that's it. Now, if you notice here, there's still one little error, right? Why? Because something is not connected properly. And the reason is this: we still need to select and change the data set. So we're gonna copy this and we're gonna change it right here. Gonna do copy paste, and now it disappeared. You see? So now it's all clear, there's no problem. Then we're gonna minimize this and we're gonna publish. The reason you want to publish is because you might not be able to see it. We're gonna click view site, and you have your tacos in San Diego, tortas in Los Angeles, tamales in San Francisco, and so on. So if we select here Salvadorian, is only showing us Salvadorian food. If you click Italian, it's gonna show us the Italian and the Salvadorian. And if we select Mexican, it's showing us all the Mexican. If we don't want to see any of them, it's gonna automatically show everything. So once you select the option that you want to see, you click on it. But then if you want to see the other one, it's gonna be there. Again, you can use this for anything. This was an example just for restaurant. But again, you can see how easy it is to create, and then you don't have to be creating multiple pages. Everything is within the same page. And if you were to have another design on top, it'll be very easy, you know, it will look good. So we're just gonna close this, and let's just add a banner. That way you see that it's actually not that difficult. We're gonna go here and strip. Actually, let's go this option right here, interactive. Gonna add this one. I'm just gonna drag it there, and boom. Now you have this. We're gonna move it down here. We're gonna add this one right here, and there you have a restaurant, you know, website with the dishes. So I'm gonna type this, and we're gonna just type this option right here. Boom. We're gonna add a little banner right here, so that's look good. And there you go. You have your restaurant website now. Again, you can use it for anything. Now the next option I'm gonna show you is gonna be using a drop down. So instead of having to use the tags, you can also do the same thing, but it's gonna be with a drop down. So we're gonna go back to editor, and then we're gonna add a new page. In this case, because I don't want to keep it confusing, that's why we're doing this. But if you want to do it at the bottom right here, just add a new section, feel free to do it. But we're gonna do a new page. Go here, add a new page, blank, and we're gonna name it drop down. Done. And then here, let me rename this one. It's gonna be tags, and then done. Okay, so we're gonna go back to the drop down. We're gonna do the same thing. So we're gonna do everything, but it's just gonna be faster because we already created the database. So we're gonna add the input. You're gonna go here where it says drop down, and you have your drop down menu right there. And then once you select that, we can also add a gallery, and we're gonna select it right there. Again, if you see there's so many pictures there, it's just so much space, so we're gonna delete it because we don't need any of the pictures that are in here. We're just gonna leave 4 or 5. There you go. So now you have more space. We're gonna drag this. It's gonna center. Now all we have to do again is click on the choices, manage choice, and we're gonna delete this option right here. And this one, we're gonna edit the label. And then again, remember we were doing by type of food, right? We did Mexican, we did Salvadorian, and we did Italian. So we're gonna select this option right here and type Mexican. Gonna go to the value. We're gonna also type Mexican, and the order doesn't matter, so it's up to you what you want it to show first. So this one is gonna be Salvadorian, and then just copy, and we're gonna go edit value, paste there, done. And then the last one was Italian, and then I'm gonna type Italian, done. Okay, so now you have your options, you have your gallery, we have the data set. So all we have to do, I mean the database, so all we gotta do is add a data set, add content, data set, it's right there. We're gonna connect it to restaurant, there it is. Read only, because we only displaying information. The number of display items we want is 12, but it doesn't matter. You can even put 10 if you want, and then just close it. That doesn't matter. Once you have that, then we're gonna open this little page right here, and you see this is again a new page. You're gonna delete all the code that's already there because we don't need that. Now, if you were building this in the other page that we just created, you'll be able to see the other code. So all you gotta do is just click enter and paste it at the bottom. But in this case, because it's a new page, we're just gonna leave it like that. We're gonna go find our code, paste there, and now you have it right there. This option is gonna be good because you can practice and do other things, and you can play with this, okay? So again, don't be scared about the code. The more you do it, the more you practice, is just gonna get easier and easier. So we're gonna minimize this for now, and then the first thing we're gonna do again is just connect our data set. In this case, we're gonna click on this, and we're gonna select restaurant. Then the image is gonna be to an image. The title is gonna connect to dish, because it's tacos. And then the description here is where you can say type of food or location. In this case, we're gonna select location. And then if you wanna add another option, you can also add another option right here, and that's gonna be for the type of food. But in this case, because we already have it there, we don't need to. So once you have that connected, you notice in this one, we don't do anything because this is gonna be using the code. But on the gallery, we do have to connect it. So we're gonna open this, and we're gonna find the errors, right? So selection tags ID. So you're gonna do one click on top of the drop down, and it has a drop down name. So you're gonna copy that, and then you're gonna select this option right here and replace it. And then the next one, you're gonna do the second option, and then replace it. Now, you still need the field key. So if you remember the field key, it was right here on restaurant. You're gonna go to the database, and because we're doing type of food, we're gonna go find type of food, properties, field key is right there. So we're gonna copy this option. You can save or cancel, doesn't matter because you didn't do any changes. Then close. You're gonna replace this option right here, and the last thing we need to do is find what the ID for this data set is. So the ID is dataset 1, so we're gonna copy, and we're gonna replace this option right here, and now it shouldn't have any red color here. So the reason, if you see here, it says drop down 1, and then here it says self drop down 1. So there's an error. So we gotta click on it. I'm gonna copy this. We're gonna replace this. There it is. Now the error is gone. So always make sure if there's a little red dot, is because there's something wrong in here. And if that's a problem, it's because you probably type an extra letter, you didn't copy paste right, there's something that you did. So if you just don't know what you did, just delete everything, paste it again, and do it all over. don't worry, it won't affect or do anything. Once everything is done, you can minimize this. I'm gonna click publish, and we're gonna turn off the developer mode. We're gonna click here, turn off. Now you don't have anything else. We're gonna go preview, and our drop down should work. So it says what's the best flavor. You can select Salvadorian, and it should show only the Salvadorian. If you click Italian, it's gonna show you the Italian, and then Mexican, it's gonna show you the Mexican. Now, if you see, compared to the tags, is only showing you the selection you did. With the tags, you can have multiple at the same time. So that's how you can decide how you can use these, tags or drop downs because of the way this is gonna be working, the functionality. Now, the other important thing is, again, the mobile version, because as you know now, is the way it looks on the desktop is not going to be the same as is how it's going to look on your mobile version. So when you're here, this is the drop down, right? And then one thing that you want to see is the space. See how beautiful and clean this looks. Now, if we're going to go back to the other option, let's say like tags, we're gonna click preview. This one looks good right now because we only have 3 options. But now imagine you have 7 or 10 options. This is gonna start looking like very bulky and messy. But again, it's totally up to you. If that works for you, then use it. But you have at least 2 options. And again, with this one, you can select 2 options at the same time, versus the drop down is only gonna show you the only option that you have available. So yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know. I'll send you this page. I'll transfer it to you. That way you can have it. And then if you want to go and look at the code there and everything, just feel free to message me if you have any questions. And thank you again for the support and for watching the video. Take care.